Hello everyone, and this is Jay, and in this video I'll cover import, the command import, init, and str functions. Okay, so let's go over the init and str functions first because they are one of the most used functions in Python. So they're pretty simple. Okay, so let's go over init first, and what init stands for is integer. Okay, so basically init takes in a string and convert it to an integer. So let's see how this works. Let's write some code. So say print, and we have 3 inside a string. Okay, we have this number inside this string, and if we run this, it's gonna just print 3. Okay, but this 3 is a string. This is not an integer. Okay, so we can't do any multiplication, addition, or subtraction on this 3. So if we say 3 plus 3, it's not gonna work. It's gonna say type error must be str, not init. Okay, so we can add an integer to a string, and the way we go with this, just in case if you have a situation like this where you need to convert a string into an integer, you use the init function. So basically say init, inside 2 parentheses, you give it the argument, and then this is how it works. It just like magic. Okay, it converts this 3 string into an integer. Okay, and you have to pass it something like you have to pass it a number. You can't pass it like a letter and expect it to run. Okay, this is going to return an error in here. As you can see, you can't do this. And who would do this? This makes no sense. Okay, so don't do this. You just you pass inside a string. Inside a string has to be a number inside that string in order to work, in order for the init function to work. Okay, and the str function works just the same way. Okay, so let's try the str function. Okay, so let's say we have a number. Let's say 4. Okay, and then if you print that number, it's going to print 4 basically to the console. Simple, right? And what if we want to add that number to a string? Okay, so if we say, let's say times. Okay, let's say we want to say 4 times. Okay, we want to print 4 times. Okay, so how we do this? So if you run this, it's going to generate an error for us. So it's going to say type error unspelled to print types s for plus sign. Okay, so we can't do this because this is an integer and this is a string. We try and do the same thing. Okay, in here we're trying to add an integer and a string, which is not possible. Okay, we can't do this. So the way we go with this is in here in this situation, we're trying to convert the 4 into a string. Okay, not the string into an integer. We're trying to convert the integer to a string. So what we do is we say str, inside 2 parentheses, we pass an argument, which is the 4, and then like this, just like this, this will convert the 4 into an integer, into a string, and just like this, it works fine. Okay, so this is a string, and then plus we add in another string, so this will work. Okay, this is gonna work just exactly if we were to do this. Okay, 4 times. Okay, so simple as that. Okay, should be simple, and these are one of the most used functions in Python. You'll see them in Python a lot. One more command that you'll see a lot in Python is the import. Okay, import command, and what this basically mean, this command enables you to import libraries to your application. So let's say you have an application and you're creating your own application. Okay, so when you download Python's basically comes with files and libraries. Okay, so without telling you, it just downloads all the libraries and files available, okay, to your computer. But you don't have access to these libraries. You can't use them in your code. Okay, you have to import these libraries into your application, okay, when you want to use them. Okay, so and the way you do this is you say import, and this is the command. Okay, and you name the library name. Okay, you put the name of the library. So there's this very useful library called math. Okay, and let's work with this and try the math. Okay, so you say import math, the name of the library, and then if you want to display what inside that library is, you say simply print. Okay, inside two parentheses you say dir, and this stands for directory, and then you put the library name, math. Okay, and then you hit and you run this code. Okay, and as you can see, these are all the functions inside this library, and you have to import this library before you execute this code. See, if we delete this, if we delete the import and the library name, we're not going to be able to do this. Okay, because this do not exist. Okay, unless you import it, it's not there, it does not exist. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, and let's use some of the functions in this library. Okay, so this is a good function right here, square root. Just find the square root of a number. So let's do this. Let's say print, okay, and then square roots. Okay, so at two parentheses you give it an argument. So let's say 25. This is gonna find the square root 25, and if we run this, should work. Okay, right, should work. Oh, but notice in here we say name square is not defined, and the reason is because when you import from a library, you have to use the name of the library and then dot and then the name of the function. Okay, to tell Python that you're using this function from this library, just to tell Python that I'm using this function from this library. This is not your function. You did not define this function. This function is already predefined in this library, and I'm trying to use this function from this library. Okay, and if you run this, this should work. As you can see, it printed 5.0, which is 5. That's correct. Let's comment this out because you can't see. Okay, say this 5.0. Okay, one more thing you can do in here, if you don't want to use the math.square root, you can do something like this. You can say from math import. Okay, so you say from math. Okay, from this library, import this function, and you write the name of the function. And the function we're trying to use is square roots. So square roots. Okay, and then now in here you don't need to use this. You can just delete this, and you just simply use square root as if it was your function. Okay, so if you run this, you see the same results. Also, one more trick you can do is you do from this library, from math, import everything. Okay, this means everything. When you do this, the multiplication sign means import every function inside that library and use it just like this without having to use the math.square root. Okay, I don't recommend doing this because you're going to confuse with your functions and the functions already predefined in this library. So this is not a good habit to do. Don't do this. This is really bad. So if you trying to, I recommend you either import your one function or you do this. This is pretty fine by me. Okay, I recommend you do, if you try and import one function, you do this. If you try and import more than one function, just use import math. Okay, so okay, and what else? One more library you can use. There's this one library called random. So if you say import, oops, it's not typing. Import random. Okay, and then let's comment this out. I'm gonna put random in here. Let's comment this out, and then this is going to show you all the functionalities inside random. Okay, so if we import random, this is all the functions available to you inside random. One good function inside random is this random function that generates a random number for you. So if we say random dot random, okay, thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed and have a good one.